All right, welcome to another awesome Thursday morning episode of More About Storytelling. On today's episode, we cross the ocean again, going a little further than London this time, all the way to Sicily in Italy, where we will be interviewing Abel Montero, author of The Crimson Fire. There's an amazing moment in this interview today, my friends, so you do not want to miss this one. Stay tuned, buckle up, get comfortable, whatever it is you do, and let's get ready to talk more about storytelling.
Once upon a time,
in a galaxy far, far away.
It was a dark and stormy night.
gather round, my friends. Let me tell you a story.
All right, here we are. Abel Montero. Am I saying that right? How did I?
Abel.
Abel. damn Canadians not pronouncing your name right.
I know the way it sounds when English speakers they say it. It makes it so internationally sound. So pronounce it the way you prefer. I have no problems.
All the way from Italy too. Like one of my very furthest away international interviews. I'm so stoked to have you on the show. It's
thank you for having me.
Oh, you're super welcome. Late night over there right now. Hey, Abel. It's like
not super late. It's just around dinner time. So it's almost 8 in the evening. The night.
Crazy. Yeah. I'm sipping on my morning coffee and you're already into the vino. Huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So one thing I wanted to get started on right away, like we were just talking before we hit record about cover design and everything like that. And I've got the Crimson Fire in my 2026 reading challenge. You're my M. Wow. And I've got to tell you, man, like the cover is striking. Absolutely striking. You should know that. Like, one of the most beautiful covers that I have in my collection. So
thank you. I'm really proud of that. I feel really lucky, really lucky because it does a lot of heavy lifting to entice people in reading my stuff. So yeah, I love it. I could stare at looking at it hours and hours because I'm a really proud book daddy. You know.
Now, are you an independent? Like, are you indie or was it?
I'm 100% self-published.
It's amazing, man. Amazing. Well, kudos to your artist, or if you did it yourself, like you should be proud, man. It is an absolute.
I can tell you a little bit of the production of that cover because
please.
Okay. So I have a background in graphic design. I started in high school. I did this specific kind of school that when they teach you to paint, oil painting, that kind of school of arts. You're supposed to, it's one of these steps that you take if you want to become a teacher, an art teacher.
Okay.
So that was my main goal, to become a professional in that. And also in restoring old paintings, medieval stuff, in restoring ancient paintings and all the rest. And I really love that. But after high school and before the uni, I stumbled in and that should tell your audience that I'm not young at all. It was one of the first classes that you could take to learn to actually design websites, with the first, at the time there was this language, the specific coding language called Flash, to make animations on the website. Maybe you remember that. So
I do.
You had to use a little bit of your graphic design skills with Photoshops and all the rest to actually design, buttons and splashes and arrows and all the rest that you have. That blew my mind. So I began study that, and I became an advertisement art director, specialized in advertisement for magazines And at the
Oh.
time, our biggest business were, advertisement on buses and on trains. You're the
Mm.
moving advertisement, okay? When you have
Right.
those kind of stuff. That's all to say that I've been meddling with Photoshop and all the rest for 25 years. So I'm
Mhm.
pretty comfortable with graphic design and all the rest. So I had a bunch of stock illustration from Shutterstock, from Adobe stock, and
Okay.
that
Yeah.
kind of website. They were fairly cheap, and I can link you the artist. It's called Kius. He has different kind of illustration and different kind of licenses. So you can license those illustration and repurpose them for whatever you want. And I was very, very picky in reading all of the legal stuff to be sure that the amount of manipulation that I could do on those illustrations, because especially the background that you
Right.
have on the cover of the Crimson Fire, it's really nice, but it needed tweaking to become the
Mhm.
cover.
Right.
So what I did was to keep the background, which is in full cover, the original, and then I made it black and white, and then I designed myself the figure that you have on the front. I cannot tell you the name of the protagonist because it will be a spoiler of the figure that you have on the cover. And then I
Thanks for that.
designed the red moon, and then I did the typography, the title, the name, and all the rest. So it was fairly easy as a process for me to produce that one, but originally that cover was meant for another series, another work in
Mm.
progress that I had. But
Right.
being a graphic designer and being an author, I actually went back and changed the story to make it fit the cover because it looked so good and it
Oh,
was
wow.
so nice and so striking that I said, you know what, I'm going to use this. I'm going to try and make the biggest splash as possible in the US/international market. I cannot go with and nothing else. This is the one. This is the right one. So I got back and rewrote around 10,000 words of my book to make it fit the
Wow.
cover. But it was
Wow.
worth it. It was worth it because it actually sells the book by itself. There's a lot
Yeah.
of heavy lifting. I'm really proud of that. Absolutely.
That is so crazy. It's interesting to hear that the art inspired the story. Like
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
awesome. Like so we connected, you and I connected because
Mhm.
your booktube channel, you
Yeah.
mentioned my book Cloudbreakers Fallon. And
Mhm.
we talked about that before we were recording that you like that cover as well. And
Yeah.
it's funny.
It's
It's
great.
funny
It's great.
that you say that you wrote the around the image, because what I commissioned for the painting on the cover of Alan was
Yeah.
an image that I had in like a dream that inspired the story too.
That's incredible. That's so nice.
It's weird, eh? I love that.
And your cover, your book cover, kudos to you and your artists because it is nice. It is, it is in that sweet spot when it is really modern, nice typography, nice design, but it also has that old style
Mhm.
painting that we all love, especially if we are, differently young readers and authors. When
Oh
we
yeah,
have our memories, our cherished memories of the kind of covers that we used to buy.
right. Yeah.
Fantasy books, epic fantasy, Gaslamp, and your book is not. It has a specific, a very unique vibe because of the
Oh,
setting and the aesthetics, right? And that cover, it actually tells you this is classic, but it also has something else. Okay,
oh, that's cool. That's
something
cool.
else. And the painting is so classic, but at the same time, you have this really nice typography. You have the guy there, and you have this how do you call it? This flying
The,
vessel on the
yeah, the
background. The
airship. Yeah,
airship.
yeah.
My English fails me miserably sometimes. So yeah, kudos to you because the design is so good, so
Oh,
good.
thank you,
Yeah,
thank you, Abel.
yeah,
That's
striking book.
you know what I was inspired by is did you ever read Terry Goodkind? Like he had this Sword of Truth series? Did you ever read
I,
those?
I haven't. I have seen a little bit of the TV show, and everybody said that the TV show is horrible. I don't
Yeah,
know. I still
it
haven't
is.
had a chance.
It is compared to the series, but yeah, that's his series is what inspired my cover design. He has all
Okay.
these like beautifully painted artworks on his covers,
Uh
and
huh.
I
Okay.
wanted to lean into that to differentiate myself from all the AI covers and stuff.
Very well. Kudos to you. Very nice.
So
Yeah,
you
it
mentioned,
has become a little bit difficult to manage the amount of AI stuff that goes around, and I can give you a very informed opinion about that because I am a judge for the SPFBO competition this
oh,
year, and I have a team of assistant judges. And if your I don't know if your audience know what the SPFBO is. It's
I've never
a
even heard of it. Yeah,
I'll inform you and your audience.
yeah. At the same time, we're
It's
all going to learn together, everybody.
yeah. It may interest you too as an author. So it's a competition, and it's been going on for more than 10 years now. It is very well beloved and pretty influential. It was established by Mark Lawrence, the author of Red Sister and the Library trilogy, the most recent one.
Oh, okay.
And he created this competition to help self-publishers, so authors, to get a little bit of visibility for their books, because as you know, the more difficult thing for a self-publisher is to find
Oh,
readerships and
yes,
kind to
yes.
do advertisement for their book. So this competition is organized in a way that there's a limited there's 300 spots, 300
Okay.
books, and then 10 judges slash judging teams. So those 10 judges get 30 books, and they have to read 30 books in 1 year, and then they decide their winner, their finalist, and then all the judges will read all the finalists from the other groups, and then we'll have a winner. And
Hmm.
it has been pretty successful because, for example, the Senlin Ascents by Josiah Bancroft was one of the winner of this competition. And so it's a bunch of others, they have become far more popular as self-publisher, and they kept their business as self-publisher, and a bunch of them, they went in the traditional route because
Really?
publishing houses got their eyes on their project because of the competition. But this is all to say that I have a 30 books to judge during 2026 as a
Oh my
judge
God.
myself. I was an assistant to Philip Chase 2 years ago, and I got to judge 6th book out of those 30 that we have in our group. And this year I have 6 other assistants reading 5 books, each one of them. And of those 30 books, we have a bunch who have AI covers.
Oh, really?
And it's kind of a tricky spot because the rules of the competition allow that. So
Hmm. Yeah.
authors can do that, but at the same time, I have to manage that carefully because my assistants, they ask themselves, this book has an AI cover. How am I sure that it was not written with AI? So
Yeah, that's the
we
trick,
try
right?
to be fair and give everyone a fair shot. But if you put us in a uncomfortable situation or having that kind of doubt, if you do
Yeah.
that as an author, it is completely on you. So you simply put out in a very uncomfortable situation. We do our best to give everyone their fair shot, but at the same time, it's weird.
Yeah.
It's a weird position. Yeah.
Yeah, it's something we've been discussing in our circles over here constantly, like in all of the conferences and talks that I've been having, with authors, that Amazon is just KDP there. They're getting absolutely flooded with all of these books. They're just AI
Absolutely.
written drivel, and these guys are churning out 40 books, publishing 40 books in a 5-year span. It's like,
Yeah, that's
gee, I
incredible.
wonder.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it's interesting. It's interesting. So there's a question I want to ask you. Earlier, you mentioned about your English failing you, and I found on your website, English is not your second language, or it's not your first language, right?
Yeah, exactly. So
So
I am uh,
how
50%
then?
Italian, 50% Venezuelan.
Okay,
So
that explains the accent because I was thinking you sounded almost more South American, like Chilean and stuff. A
yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
little bit, yeah. But how did you find like Crimson Fire's written in English? Did you have to
Yeah,
translate or did you write it yourself?
that's a very painful story. So I have to
Well,
say
you
that
don't
I
have
come.
to share. You don't have to share.
Yeah. I'm gonna. It's kind of inspirational too. So the thing is that I've been reading before that. I actually released 9 novels in Italy, and I am a best-selling author in Italy too. Okay, so I have this extensive back catalog, and
Wow.
I was pretty happy with my career. But the market there is so small that at a certain point you kind of plateau what you can
I
reach
see.
as a self-publisher. So unless you get a very, one of those dream-like deal with a publishing house, especially if you publish fantasy or science fiction, it will be really difficult to make it worth the effort, the time and the commitment and the money that goes to produce even a single book. So imagine 9 of those. And I
Yeah.
had
Wow.
been doing that for more than 8 years before deciding to try my hand on the international market. But one thing that I did consistently during the last maybe 10, 15 years has been reading in English
Hmm.
because um, it was easier until a couple of years ago to buy books in English from Amazon.it, the Italian
Okay.
Amazon, because for me it was really cheap to buy hardcovers and paperbacks from the US store
Okay.
before Brexit, because many of those books they were stored in the UK warehouses
Right.
of
Yes.
Amazon.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
After Brexit, it became really really expensive to buy American books. It's slightly um, more expensive to buy UK editions, which is kind of on the same ballpark if you kind of buy them in a actual store in the UK. But if you
Hmm.
try to buy a hardcover from the US, it will be like $60. That's
Oh my
impossible.
God. Yeah. That's steep.
Recently, because of the tariffs that the US government implemented, it is impossible for me to buy those. But
Mm.
I had this very nice relationship with books in English for many years. So, and I've been reading in English because translation can be iffy. Sometimes they translate just the first couple of books of a series that they never finish the series because it wasn't hugely successful in Italian. So I decided to basically fill my library with English books, and
Wow.
so American English, and maybe from Germany or France that were translated in English, so it was more easy for me to read. So my brain rewired in English by itself, just by virtue of spending many hours every day reading books in English. And I have to say, it was natural, really organic for me because I love the language. I like it. I like the way it sounds. I like the way the words, the way you organize the words inside the sentence, which is very different from the way we do it
Is
in
it?
Italian.
Man.
And I basically started thinking in English, okay, because of the amount of books that I was reading in English.
Okay.
And when I got to a point when I was really disappointed with my career in Italian, and at a certain point, I decided to withdraw of all of my books from the market and to take a sabbatical year. So they became 2 years, okay, away from the Italian market. I decided to start my booktube channel and the experience in English, of course. The
Right.
experience
Yeah.
that I had with the international community So with people from the US, from the UK, and from the rest of the English-speaking world,
Yeah.
it was a really powerful driving force to that was yeah, it really pushed me to break that pause that I had with the publishing world, because I had a good experience in Italy, but not nearly as fulfilling and electrifying as it was with the international market.
To go international. Yeah.
So I tried, and I decided, you know what? I had good grades in English, in English literature when I studied at a school. I
Okay.
was already able to speak it because of my work, because of the advertisement and all the rest. But I wasn't sure how viable it was for me to try to translate my novel, because The Crimson Fire was released in Italy. The Crimson Fire and The Sunrise Dagger, they have different titles.
Oh,
But they
really?
were released in Italy a couple of years ago. And they were
That's
probably the two most successful books that I had in Italy too. And I asked myself, can you do it? Just give it a try, man. Just give it a try. So I invested 6 months and translating maybe 20-25% of the first book. And it was so hard, so freaking hard, so incredibly hard, because sentence structures and actions and adjectives and all the rest are very different, very
very
different
yeah.
from what we have here. So it was not so much a translation, but more kind of a rewrite / adaptation of that story. The main bits and the characters and the places and the magic system, even if I don't have actually magic in my world, but the supernatural abilities, let's say, and it's the same, but the book is longer, because as I was adapting it and rewriting it, it became bigger. And then I got in contact with an editor, and then the Italian version is like 80,000 K words, 80,000 words. The
Yeah.
US one, the one you have, is 1,040. Yeah.
100,000.
Yeah. So it's much, much longer than the original one. Yeah, so it was really difficult, but I was also really enthusiastic about it, because meanwhile, while I was cultivating my booktube channel and creating relationships and networking with other authors, I was really lucky because they were really generous with me. And when I sent to a bunch of those authors this small percentage of my book, asking them, what do you think about it? Is it worth to keep trying? Am I wasting my time with this?
Yeah.
99% of them, actually all of them, they were enthusiastic. A couple of them were a little bit more severe about the feedback that they gave me, but I understood that they were simply trying to make the book better, okay, my writing better.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I got in contact because of them with my editor, which is a Canadian lady, that helped me refine my writing. And then I was very lucky because Palmer Pickering, Nick Snape, Paul Todkill, all of these authors, and many more, even Josiah Rosell, they actually helped me edit the book, proofread the book. Many people were involved in actually making the book that it is now right now. So the fundamentals were good. The foundations were good. My passion for the writing made the process, which is a grueling process, bearable, because I was enjoying it so much, listening to it in English, and the way my characters were speaking in English, and the description and the action scenes. So even if it was so difficult, it was also really rewarding of a process. So yeah, it was difficult. I translated myself, but
Wow.
it was edited and proofread by native speaking English people. So I'm pretty happy with the result.
Yeah.
really,
Wow.
really, really happy.
I find that so impressive, man. Like so impressive. Like I'm super impressed by anybody who can speak multiple languages. Yeah. My dad was a helicopter pilot, used to travel all over the world, and he could speak 5 different languages. And
Wow.
I loved it. He was like, I'd sit in his office and just watch him, and it'd be like he was switching channels on a TV. He'd get off you get
Great.
off one call talking German and then get on another call
Uh-huh.
and talk
Uh-huh.
like
Hmm.
Spanish. And it's just like,
Hmm.
so, you know, I was looking through some of your Goodreads reviews before our call there, and I was absolutely blown away. There was one review there that said you would never know that
Hmm.
English is your second language. And so whatever you did well.
It
You
worked.
know, yeah, I cannot wait. I cannot wait to get into your book. I almost wish I could skip letters now.
No, no, don't do that. Just
Yeah,
get at the right time. Don't
that's right, man.
disrespect the others because. But a quick question: when is this going online? Where will you upload it? Because I have news, but I don't know if I can tell you. Depending on the day you're going to release this episode.
Right now, I think it's looking like the schedule will be the end of February, probably
Oh,
the
okay, so I
last
can
week
tell
of
you.
February.
You know, I was very lucky because I was nominated. I was one of the nominee for the FemFi Addict Best Self-Published Book of 2025.
What?
Uh,
Really?
yeah, and if you go on my Instagram, you'll see that I have a post about that. And I got a message today. The news is not official, but I won. I
Oh
actually won.
my God.
Yeah,
Wow.
just an hour ago,
Congratulations.
I was
God.
jumping on my floor, and mom was crying. My sister was baking a cake.
Oh, congratulations. Wow. That is the dream. That is the dream of
Thank you
all
so
of us.
much. I
You must be
actually
so proud.
cannot believe that. I cannot believe that. I screenshotted my chat with David Walters, which is the head of FanFi Addict, just to be sure to have proof that it is true.
That is amazing. Like, wow, like, there's a word in English that I don't know if you know this one. It's called kismet, and it's basically like fate or
Yeah,
destiny.
that's the first time I hear that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, kismet. Yeah, it feels like kismet that we're talking right after you got this award. And
That's incredible. Yeah, yeah.
do you know when they'll be announcing it officially?
I
Or
think they'll announce it next week, maybe probably on Monday.
oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah,
Okay, so yeah, definitely before this episode drops then. So that'll be super cool. Then I'll be able to share and share and share and be
yeah,
like, listen,
yeah,
listen to
yeah,
us talk about it because we were online.
yeah.
You
Yeah,
got
I'm
this.
giggling. I feel so girly right now because I'm jumping all around the house. Because
Oh,
as I told you, I had a relatively good experience in Italy, but I never felt like all that effort was repaid in any meaningful way. I mean, I was lucky because I had a small but really loyal readership, and that
hmm.
makes all the difference in the world. That kept me going for many years. That
Wow.
small amount of people so loyal, so enthusiastic, and so helpful. People doing free labor for me, doing proofreading and doing a
Yeah.
lot of stuff just in a very generous and organic way. But at the same time, the amount of painfully difficult work that this is a difficult job. You know it, of course.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
so difficult that I felt that I was not getting enough credit. And now I've been doing this, which is 100 times harder than what I did in Italy because of the language barrier. But at the same time, I am in contact with such an incredible community of readers and reviewers and
Yeah.
booktubers and people like you that
Yeah.
makes it so wonderful of an experience. And after the book has not been out, not even for 1 year. It will be 1 year in April, and I am an award-winning author now.
Oh my
What?
God. And a best a best-selling award-winning international author, and it's not even your
Yeah,
first language.
yes, hell
Ah,
yeah. That's
I'm
so
clapping.
incredible. Thank you
Cheers
so
for you.
much.
Cheers for you.
As
That is.
Jim Carrey in The Max would say, "You love me. You love me.
I
You love
really
me
love
so
you.
much."
Oh man! So I take it the wine's going to come out after today.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, yeah. Wine and maybe sweets and cakes and all the rest.
Oh
Yeah.
man, that's
I may go to bed a little bit late tonight. Maybe around 10:30, So it's crazy stuff.
oh
Really crazy stuff.
you rebel, you. That's late,
Rebel, absolutely. A rock star.
man.
That's great.
That's amazing, amazing. So tell me a bit what about the award. What is the competition? What was the competition?
Okay, so the one I won or the SPFBO? Which
The
one?
one you won. The one you won.
Okay, so there's this website that is called Fanfi Addict. Okay, then they do reviews basically of fantasy and science fiction stuff. And I
Okay.
think it's one of the most respected that you have in the US / the rest of the world, the English reading community. You have Fanfi Addict, and you have a Grimdark magazine, you have Kirkus, these big
Hmm.
review sites.
Yeah.
They had this competition, which is by popular vote. You got the
Oh.
nominations with the editorial team. So from within Fanfi Addict, they nominate you or your book. Okay, and they have different categories, and they have the best traditionally published, the best debut traditionally published, and then they have the best self-published, and then the best debut self-published, which is the one that I won.
Wow.
So last week, they on Twitter they announced the nominees, and they tagged me, of course. And I went and I saw the cover of my book with 10 others titles and names, and I was so happy because of the nomination. But at the same time, I told myself, I'm never gonna win. I'm never gonna win. And you know why? Because I'm the same. Within those 10 nominations, there were Discovery by the Minton family, the one from the Talking Story booktube channel. They have 10,000 followers.
Oh
So
my
they're really
gosh.
popular. And being, a popularity, because people, they were going to vote. So the nominations are from the editorial team, but then people actually have to move their asses and go and vote for you. So I said, you know what, there's no chance that my readership and my following is going to vote. It's been a larger group if compared to that channel. And they're amazing. They're beautiful people, so smart. And I'm really good friends with them. And at the same time, there's another author, and I'm just talking about the one that I know, okay, that I've been following. I'm pretty sure that all the others are more popular than me too, okay? So another one is Maurice Africh, that wrote Chello's Gate, which is a science fantasy novel. And he has a big following on Instagram and on TikTok too. So I was happy, but at the same time, I was deathly sure I was not going to win. So there's no way in hell I'm going to win this one. I'm really happy. I'm honored. Thank you so much. The kind of stuff that you say when you get the nomination, and
Right?
how
Yeah.
the way Joy from France, he was practicing his applause when he was going to lose the award. I was practicing my applause and my smile, being elegant for the actual winner. Being,
Yeah.
oh, good job, that's amazing. I'm not sad at all because I
Yeah.
didn't win the award. And then
Wow.
I got, of course, I did my posts online saying, if you enjoyed my book, please go and vote. I told my friends, but I did a YouTube community post about it. I did my due diligence, okay, my job to make it know that I had this nomination, but actually was a very small drop in the bigger sea of the self-publishing community, going head to head with other big names. And then a couple of hours ago, I got the message from the head of the website telling me you actually won. We're going to
Unbelievable.
announce it in a couple of days. So if Monday we don't have an actual announcement, I'm going to use this podcast as a way
To announce,
to make them feel shamefully because you made me happy and then you snatched away the award. But I hope it doesn't happen.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's
the
awesome.
website is pretty cool. They have a lot of really good reviews and a lot of very good reviewers. So if you for independently published authors, but also traditionally published, you can actually submit your book to for a review, or you can actually ask for help when you do, advertisement like cover reveals and all the rest. They're very, very active.
Oh, wow.
So I feel very lucky.
That is, man, what a feeling, hey? Like, even just to be nominated is amazing. You
Absolutely.
see the cover of so many books that say like nominated for more than 4 awards, but to be
Uh-huh.
able to put that sticker,
Yeah.
the winner of, that's got to
Mhm.
be. I can only dream. Maybe with my next one.
Yeah, you can actually try and do that, and try your hand with the competition when I am a judge, the SPFBO, because one of the
Mm,
very good thing of that other competition too is that if you get through the first threshold, which is if you get between those they have a lottery. Okay, they have 24 hours. You can it's open for submission. And for example, this year we had like 600 submissions, and they
wow.
did it randomly, and that they picked 300 books. Okay, if you get through that threshold, and you will have at least 3 people going and reading your book and giving you reviews, which is one of the hardest things to do for a self-publisher, to actually have people not only reading the book but actually giving it a review and a feedback,
Hmm. Yeah.
and for actually people to have that. And if you get to the finals, you have 10 reviews from 10 judges, and a bunch of them had a lot of followers. So it's a very good way. You don't actually win money, but you win a lot of exposure with
Yeah.
very loyal readers, very
Yeah.
expert readers.
And
So
like you
it's a
said,
very good way
like
to
you said,
have.
for us indies, exposure is money.
Absolutely. Yeah, you cannot pay. There's no money enough to have that kind of feedback from
Yeah.
experienced readers. So it's a pretty unique way to get a readership. And at the same time, if you get a review on a website like FemFi Addict, which is the one when I won the award, uh, it sounds so good, right? When I
Right.
won the award,
Oh yeah. I just love it. I love
or
it.
websites like SFF Insiders, because I write my written review, which are basically a transcripted and embellished version of the reviews that I do on YouTube. I write them for another website that they called SFF Insiders, which is full of very beautiful people and really expert and really passionate. If you get your book in one of those websites, you're pretty sure you're going to put your book in front of the eyes of the kind of core audience that you need, especially at the beginning of your career, when
Yeah.
when you need strong readers giving you deep feedback.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
is worth the effort to try and submit your books in this bunch of websites.
Man, that's amazing advice. Yeah. So, just looking at the time there, I could talk to you forever about all this stuff. We're
Yeah,
unfortunately going to have to
me
start
too.
to wrap this up. But
Yeah.
so in my interviews with authors, I like to do this thing called one more question, and it's usually just like a fun little way to end our interviews and stuff like that, and all that.
Mhm.
So, are you ready for your one more question?
I don't know if I will ever be ready, but I'm going to try and give you an honest answer. Just shoot your shot, and then I'll try to
All
not
right.
make a
All right.
fool of myself.
Oh, no, this is going to be fun. You're going to like this. Okay. So you've been living in Italy for a while.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you're aware of the culture around how food is
Uh
like
huh.
sacred. If food is sacred to
It
Italians.
is. It
I
is.
was I
Yeah.
was raised by Italian Canadian immigrants, so I know.
Oh, that's
Now,
wonderful. Yeah.
so here's what my question for you is. If you were writing a story where food was the central theme, what
Hmm.
would be the most evil food related thing your villain could do? Like putting pineapple on pizza or
Oh, that's a
ketchup
pretty
on
easy.
spaghetti.
It's a pretty easy, pretty answer. Pretty easy. The most evil thing you can do is to go and mess up a recipe for a foreign dish. Actually, go and trying to change it because you feel like it. Do not mess with food from another country. Do it the proper way. Use the right ingredients. Do it the way they do it. And don't even try saying stuff like, I improved it. No, no, sir. You're not improving it. You cannot do carbonara with cream, okay? You cannot do fettuccine alfredo. They're not Italian stuff, okay?
Yeah.
It doesn't exist in Italy. Or chicken with parmesan chicken. What even is that? Parmesan chicken. I don't mess with other countries. Okay, I don't mess with other with food from other cultures. I respect them. Okay,
Right.
so if I had a protagonist who were willing to go to war with another country in the context of a fantasy book, when food has that kind of influence in the world, which is kind of relatable to the world we're living in right now, I'll
Yeah.
go and mess up the recipes and being flamboyant about it. Okay, that's the most evil thing you can do. Disrespecting the other
Uh,
culture's food. That's like
I absolutely I love it.
incredibly evil.
I absolutely love it. Yeah, I have a best friend here that I grew up with him. His family's also Italian Canadian immigrants, and
Yeah.
he he gets viciously, and I mean viciously angry when he
That's a
sees,
man of culture. I
yeah,
can relate
right.
with them.
Oh, like his number one is when pineapple on pizza, like
Oh,
the
come on.
Hawaiian pizzas.
Yeah.
He just gets so
Hell
mad.
doesn't exist. But if hell was going to exist in any meaningful way, there would be a special place for people putting pineapple on pizza just for that. Because of how heinous of a crime that is.
Yeah,
That's
right.
incredible. Please, people, don't do that in front of Italian people. You
No.
run for your life if you do
Yeah,
something like that.
or breaking spaghetti before you put it in the pot. Like,
That's actually foolish.
yeah,
That's really risky.
it's a
Okay,
crime. It's a crime.
I've lost friendships because of that. Okay? So, no, don't do that, please. It's like I step inside a restaurant in Chicago, and I tell them how to do their specific kind of pizza, okay? Because I tell them, no, you have to do the way I do it.
Yeah,
Okay, you do that. The pizza is very malleable. You can try to change it, but I'm pretty sure that if they have enough of an audience with Italian customers, they're not going to try and put pineapple on their pizza. No, at least they're respectful. So yeah. And we have a lot of beef with French people too because the way they cook. But
right.
I don't go in a patisserie in France try to teach them how to do croissant. Okay, each their one.
Oh, that was amazing, man. Oh, that was a perfect answer. Perfect answer. I'm so glad. Abel, where would listeners follow you? Like, where's the best place to learn more about you and your work and stuff?
Okay, so how you may have gathered that I am a kind of a rambly guy. So if you enjoy this kind of attitude and this kind of approach when referring to fantasy and science fiction the best way is to follow my booktube channel, and just simply type Abel Montero on YouTube. The name is Books with Abel. On booktube. I am not really prolific. I'm not going to spam your your homepage on YouTube. I usually post a video twice a month, just a couple of videos every month. So, and you have reading updates, reviews, and just a little bit at the end of each video about my riding journey. Okay. And then you'll find me pretty active on Instagram when I post updates and reviews and all the rest, pretty graphics, because I have this, this background with graphic design. And I have to say that I have even if X/Twitter is kind of a dumpster fire, it's a really difficult platform, but the bubble dedicated to indie publishing and fantasy it's full of very gentle people, awfully gentle and really careful people, wonderful people. And a little
Awesome.
bit on TikTok too, even if it is, I don't know if I'll keep using TikTok, then given the recent development of the things. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm everywhere. But if you wanna have a good taste of what I really like to read and discuss and highlight, maybe YouTube is the best place
Perfect.
to find me. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, man, it's been an absolute honor to talk to you. I would love to have
Thank
you
you for
on in a
having
future
me.
show. Yeah, we'll have
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
We'll have
Call me
to get on
wherever you want. Yeah, whenever you want. And I hope I'll be able to read your book pretty soon too, to give you. It is beautiful. So I'll be happy to have it on my library just because of how wonderful it looks. But I'm
Awesome.
curious because the synopsis is really interesting, and
Yeah,
it sounds
um,
really interesting.
the sequel should be out this summer too here. So it'll be
Amazing.
really cool. Then you'll have two of them to put side by side. I'll mail you one. So.
Absolutely. It's a match made in heaven.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Abel. It was an absolute pleasure to chat with you, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
And that was that, folks. Abel Montero, like, what an awesome guy. Such a great interview. I mean, congratulations to him. Shortly after we actually recorded this interview, which was almost a month ago, he was officially able to announce his award. So you can see it on socials. He talks a lot about winning the award and stuff, and how it's changed his world as an author. His sequel, The Sunrise Dagger, is also out and available. So make sure you check that out. Support him, give him a like and follow. For myself, like, there's a lot going on coming up here. We talked a little bit about the Cloudbreakers Peregrine coming out soon. I'm going to be launching a live stream very shortly to discuss some of my plans. So look for that on my YouTube or my website. If you're a fan of the show, you're enjoying what you hear, you'd like to support me a little bit further, help me keep doing the things I'm doing, please consider following me on Patreon, supporting me a little bit there. And as always, if you're interested in being a guest on the show, please go to my website and fill out the contacts form. Let me know a little bit about yourself, and I will reach out as soon as possible to schedule an interview. So that is that for this week, my friends, and we will see you next week for more about storytelling.
Fade to black. The end.